Hey there guys, Pete here from Leithal Hot Sauces. We decided this week we're going to try and mix things up a little bit. So rather than the usual food recipes and stuff that we're putting out, we're going to try something a little different and give you a nice cocktail for you to try and make at home. One of my favourites, a little twist on a classic, the old fashioned, however using a couple of different ingredients. So we are going to be using today the Aljimador Reposado tequila, lovely gold tequila, 100% agave. Really fresh taste and you know, just an all-round great product. However, if that's not necessarily to your taste, find a tequila or even better, a mezcal which suits you. We are going to be incorporating some of our sauce today. We are going to be using the Leithal, which is our lime, lemongrass and ginger hot sauce. Very hot, but very prominent flavors. Really going to complement everything else that goes along with the tequila. Obviously, an old-fashioned wouldn't be an old-fashioned without your bitters. We're going for the Fee Brothers plum bitters, slightly sweeter, less of that bitter sort of flavour to it, but still it's going to bring out that, that part of the drink which every old-fashioned needs. And then for the sweetness, we are going to be using some Scottish heather honey, local product. Obviously, we love doing stuff using stuff that comes from Scotland, and we're going to make sure that we use that in all of our recipes and stuff moving forward. Finally, rather than the orange that you might use in an old-fashioned, one lime is all you're going to need. And we'll talk through the process with you guys soon. Okay, so with any old-fashioned, it is a gradually diluted drink, which means that we're going to be adding ice and then the spirit gradually and diluting it through stirring. This gives the ice a chance to melt slowly, therefore diluting the drink and pulling out more of those flavors. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple, maybe 3 rocks of ice, pop them in the glass, and then we're going to add in our bitters. So this is basically going to be a couple of drops of that and then stirred around in order to coat the side of the glass. So that's then going to get all those bitter flavours not just into the bottom of the drink and mixed into with all the spirits and stuff, but it's also going to get it all up onto the side of the glass here, and it's going to help as the drink is gradually diluted. Next, as you can see, I have already cut my lime in half here. So I'm going to grab my Mexican elbow. If you don't have one of these at home, you can just cut it into quarters, squeeze, and then get the juice out of it that way. But you want about the juice out of maybe half of a lime, should be good. Once that's all in there, just pop the stuff off to the side, in the bin, worry about it later, it's not the end of the world. And then, as I said here, we're going to use a couple of bits of the lime peel, which is shaved off, give that a little twist, gets all of that zest out of the skin, and then you can pop that in. That's going to go in with the drink, and again, just get some more of that zest flavour to it. Now, onto the part that we all really like. The whole point of an old-fashioned, as I said, is to gradually dilute it. So we're not going to be we're going to be working with 50 millilitres of tequila in this. We're not going to be sticking it all in one go. So what we're going to do is we're going to about half fill up 25 ml measure. Again, you can kind of eyeball this at home, but you know, you can kind of do it to taste if you want. But that then essentially is just going to start getting this ice diluting, because as soon as you add the alcohol to it, it's going to start melting at a faster pace. And then with about sort of 10-15 stirs, you'll start to see the level of the drink rise within the glass. Now, at this point, obviously there is one other thing that we're missing here, and that is going to be our honey. So once you start to get the first level of ice melting, it's time to get the lid off your jar, add 1 or 2 more cubes of ice, and then we're going to start getting this honey infused through the drink. So I've been quite generous with this because I like my old fashions quite sweet. But again, it's all a case of flavour and personal preference. So pop this in. Don't worry if it smears across the side of the glass. That is, again, going to happen depending on the honey that you use. Runny honey is usually better, but as I said, we've gone with the local product. So once that's starting to move quite nicely, you can leave your spoon to rest and then half fill another 25 ml measure of your tequila. Now, keep that stirring. As I said, the process is a gradual one. So as soon as you've got the first shot in, you're going to carry on stirring your honey and the drink around for a short while. And again, after about 15-20 stirs, you're going to start seeing that the ice is moving quite freely, but it's also getting a little bit smaller. So it's going to be time to add more ice and then more of that spirit that you're going to be using. So let's do that. Again, 2 or 3 cubes. Again, as you saw with mine, some ice may fall out. It's just the way of the drink. It does happen. Don't lose any sleep over it. At this point, we're going to add in the magic ingredient, our Leviathan. So I'm going to use about 5 milliliters of the Leviathan sauce. Not enough to blow your head off, but enough to give you that kick and to bring out the flavors that are going to complement that. Now, for those of you that aren't too aware on sort of like the measures and stuff of this, 5 ml is roughly a teaspoon. So you can pop that in, just bang that straight in the middle of the drink, and then yeah, absolute winner. Adding a little bit more tequila, and then getting that ready for the stir. And we're off. Again, at this point, some of that honey may well have solidified. Give it a slow stir at first, and you can see it starts moving quite freely again. So now in there, just a reminder, we've got the lime juice, the honey, the plum bitters, and of course, the Leviathan and the tequila. So, at this point, it's all moving quite well. We're about half a measure away from being at our goal. As you can see, it's got that lovely colour that's starting to come out of it now from the honey, and then the lime and all sorts being in there as well. Last little bit of tequila to go in, maybe a little bit more ice, and then I think we should be good to go. There's there. Again, if you've got other stuff to do as well, the beautiful thing with an old-fashioned is that you can leave it. The original old-fashions were meant to take anywhere up to 15 minutes to make, because they were essentially all about the the dilution, if you'll forgive me. But yeah, so the more and more that it dilutes, the more and more flavors that come out, and then obviously you get yourself a lovely drink left at the end. So that is all of our tequila, all of our honey, and everything else stirred into there. Now these glasses that we're using here, for those of you who aren't aware, are referred to as rocks glasses. So called because of the ice or rocks that are used and that should be up over the rim of the glass at the end of every drink. Take your other peel of your lime, give that a little twist, maybe a little rub around the edge of the glass just to get some of that flavour onto that for when you sip. Place your coil in there, and there you go. One Leviathan tequila old fashioned.